It's warm.
Is it still not cooled off at all for you?
It is 20 past 11 at night. It is warm.
Hmm.
In fairness, the sun sets at about 20 to 10, and my window is. Which way is the setting one? The west. It's west facing. So right up until the sun goes, and I'm on the side of a hill. So right up until the sun completely goes down, it is burning through my window. It's not great. So, maybe in a few hours it will be cool again. I can hope.
Yeah, I do not miss having a western-facing room.
Yeah. It's not nice. So, how's it going in California, Zero?
In California, the weather is nice.
Is it
Uh,
actually? Or are
yeah,
you.
it's nice.
Okay.
My car is very, very hot because it has black leather seats.
Yeah, it sounds like a mistake in California. Like, you see the light colored seats sometimes, and you think it's stupid until you realize, oh wait, there's a really like practical reason for these.
It's okay. I worked in KFC for 7 years. I'm used to being burned.
Yeah, you could cook like yourself. You have cooked yourself on one occasion. You used to it, I guess.
Yeah, I was born in it, molded by it. Um,
Fried in it.
right.
You
Um,
you were partially fried. I remember you
yeah,
mentioning you scalded your arm several times.
yeah,
Yep, the hole in the glove story. Yep,
but a classic for the ages.
it was. It
Uh,
was funny.
After the fact, which you're
Yeah.
better.
um, I went and I saw a movie recently. You may have heard of this. It's called Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh yeah, that thing that I don't especially want to watch.
Um, I enjoyed it.
How objectified is Thor?
What do you mean?
That was the big hubbub. Was Thor's ass was showing, but nobody made a big deal out of it because he's a guy.
Um, there's one. There's one sort of joke that appears, I guess, where um, this guy's like, "Let me flick off your disguise," and he goes to flick off the disguise that Thor is wearing, and accidentally flicks too hard, knocking all of his clothes off.
Oh, oh, fair enough.
And then he's like, "I want my clothes back." You flicked too hard, says Thor. You know,
Okay.
meant to be comedic. Uh, I don't know how much you guys know about this particular movie. Um,
Almost nothing, honestly.
Natalie Portman returns in this movie,
Yay.
and Taika Waititi does a lot to try to um, fix what past movies have done. And I think he does a pretty okay job of it. Tries to make their relationship actually seem like it, you know, works rather than not. Um, if you the Guardians of the Galaxy show up for a little bit in the beginning, but they're gone for the rest of the movie.
Hmm.
This is primarily a Thor movie. Um, Interaction with other characters from the MCU is kept to a minimum outside the necessary. He was with the Guardians for a while. And the Guardians, and Thor aren't exactly on an equal power scale.
Yeah.
So
No, they're cosmic putzes, and he's literally a god.
so they're kind of like, well,
He's cramping our style, kind of thing.
yeah. There's some tension there. This is one of the main sort of things that Thor is dealing with, is trying to find purpose after taking care of Thanos, after having lost basically everybody who has ever been important to him.
Man, he needs to find purpose, huh? If only he was like a king or something with subjects who needed protection and guidance or something, and he had spent 3 films coming to terms with his role as the heir to the throne and taking the throne after his dad died. Man, that would be a really convenient thing for him to have when he's searching for a purpose.
Stop poo-pooing.
I'm still mad, and I will die mad. So
Stop poo-pooing.
okay, I that has been established as my problem with this entire concept going forward. It has been established. We can move past it. I will not bring it up again.
So the villain of this movie is called, I believe it was like Gore the God Butcher. He really hates gods.
Okay.
Like, connection foible. As saying, the villain is Gore the God Butcher. He really hates gods.
Okay.
Really hates them.
It's unfortunate then that gods are kind of a nebulous concept in the MCU, but okay.
Well, they're not anymore,
Okay.
because this movie goes into that. Like, Zeus appears.
All right.
Between this and Moon Knight, it seems like the MCU is setting up gods as an actual thing in their universe. And yeah, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it, because the movie just came out.
Yeah, that's fair.
But they do establish his reasons why he wants to kill gods, and they're pretty good reasons. So fair enough. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it like it's not Thor Ragnarok. But it definitely was enjoyable. I liked it a lot. Like, in terms of like Thor movies, I put that right below Ragnarok.
Okay. I'm going to regret asking this.
Okay.
Especially literally after saying I won't bring it up again. Does it in any way address or resolve the problem I have with Thor's character arc?
The becoming king thing?
Yeah.
Well, currently, Valkyrie is doing the king thing.
Okay, so we're saying no? That's basically a no? It's doing a different thing?
Thor decides to... He ends up with a place in which I would say he is happy by the end of the movie.
Okay.
But him becoming king is not something that they are doing in this movie.
I wasn't asking whether he becomes king. I was asking whether they even acknowledged that the thing happened and that it was weird. And kind of aborted his entire character arc, and whether they address that in any real way. Hello?
Sorry.
I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking. If there was a particular line that was given. I mean,
Still sounding like the answer is basically no. No, they don't really acknowledge it at all.
they show that the role of king in New Asgard is not great because it's basically just become a tourist attraction. Like they're just having Valkyrie like shoot commercials and like sign paperwork, and she hates it. So I don't know. It watch the movie.
So you say that, but I haven't watched any of the new movies, and I'm still kind of okay with that. So even one that I would theoretically be into, with gigantic air quotes around into, because of, as noted, misgivings. I don't know whether I really care to watch any more Marvel movies. I think that's the point I'm at, to be honest.
That's fair.
I'm
kind most of the way there.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch this one and anything else that kind of looks entertaining, but I don't think I'd go out of my way to do it.
I like Taika Waititi's Thor. I enjoy the way that he writes the world and the characters, or directs them rather. I don't know if he's actually writing. So I do enjoy that. But and like I enjoyed the show Moon Knight. I've been watching Miss Marvel, and that has been a drain.
Oh, that's a shame.
I like the coolest part about it is learning a bit about a culture I did not know much about previously.
Don't know much about Islam?
I don't know much about Islam. I will admit that.
I know a little bit because Britain, there are quite a few Muslims here, and I went to school with a lot of them. I know a little bit.
But the character writing is really weak in Miss Marvel. And they do some. They make her different from her comic book version.
Yeah, her comic book thing is she's a fangirl, right?
She's a fangirl, and she can like her powers are that she can like stretch her body and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Make it big.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Miss Marvel show, she has connection to an alternate dimension and create things made of light.
Yeah, that's maybe. I have to assume they're trying to. Hey, there's a Captain Marvel. Maybe we should make it similar to Miss Marvel to not confuse audiences, or rather the other way around.
Also, she's part Jinn.
That's a little bit loaded, culturally speaking.
But no, you don't understand. These Jinn are not actually like they're different. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a mess.
If I'm going to be honest, a lot of the problems I've had with stuff that I've seen in the MCU post Endgame and a little bit in Endgame is the character writing. That is one of the major problems. The other one being there doesn't seem to be an overarching universe or overarching plot line to tie everything together, or at least not one that I give a shit about. Because what they have is an overarching plotline of multiverses are a thing now, branching timelines, alternate universes, and post-cosmic threats to everything. And it's like, okay, cool. What about the characters, though? Like, for phases 1 through 3, the overarching narrative was very specifically character based and character focused. Like in phase 1, it's, hey, these people are becoming superheroes and they are going to be the Avengers, and the overarching plot is making the Avengers a thing.
Yes.
Phase 2, the Avengers are a thing now. How does that go? And then we get to Age of Ultron, and kind of okay, sort of. It's a bumpy ride kind of thing. Like, these are all people, and they don't especially go great together sometimes, but when they do, it works out really well. Kind of thing. Then phase 3. Everything falls apart. Multiple times. Often for character reasons and interpersonal conflicts. But then they all come together at the end and save the day eventually, kind of. And it all works out. Some people die, but the story is effectively over. So now we need a new one. And the new one is multiverses. And that's great. What does it mean for the characters? We don't even know what characters are going to be, like, major players. like, that's...
Yeah. Look at...
Go on.
You look at phase 4 so far. You have Black Widow, which started...
do you, though?
It was... Yeah.
We know there's supposed to be a replacement. That's about all we know.
I mean, the Hawkeye show was good. Some of the shows were good. I did like the Hawkeye show, which followed up on.
I should watch the Hawkeye show because, like, it seems the most detached from this whole multiverse garbage. So
it's completely detached from it. It is just it's a very simple plot. It is Hawkeye wants to be home for Christmas, and things are happening around him, and he's just a guy with a bow.
I am okay with this. That sounds actually kind of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has a whole other dimension, and then ends on like, oh hey, we need your help for something, and then has not been followed up on at all.
So Shang-Chi is supposed to be part of this whole shebang, presumably.
No, but he has not appeared in anything else ever since that movie, and I don't know. Eternals happened. It was trash.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man No Way Home, I actually very much enjoyed.
Yeah, that is one I should watch. Like, that is as far as I think they really should have gone in the multiverse direction. Like, hey, let's use the multiverse as a vehicle to celebrate the history of the Spider-Man franchise in film.
Yeah.
That would be a pretty cool concept. And then we never touch the multiverse again because that is too big a scope. You can't with that. But that's how I feel about it anyway.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh god.
I enjoyed, but it has some problems. I don't know what you guys know about it.
I know a little that it kind of character assassinates a character that didn't have much character until a thing happened that gave that character room to exist on their own.
Yeah, it did some character assassination. I mean, that aside, I I enjoyed it. It had the Sam Raimi stuff in it that kind of made it fun to watch. But
Yeah, he is good at fun
yeah,
films.
it was fun. Character assassination was unfortunate, but it was fun. Um, Thor: Love and Thunder is the very it's very isolated from the rest of the MCU. Um,
That is probably the best endorsement you could have given. Is hey, this has nothing to do with all the other bullshit that's going on. Like the overarching thing is actually becoming a burden more than it is a benefit in my eyes. So, like, I enjoyed Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought that was okay. I don't even like Bucky Barnes. I think I don't actually give a single shit about him, but just that story between those two characters, that was fun enough. Even with the problems of filming because of COVID that made things more difficult than they really needed to be. Like, it had some flaws, I will acknowledge, but it didn't try to outdo its own scope. It was a very character focused story, and I appreciated that.
mhm.
The other show that I watched, on the other hand,
Yeah, you didn't like Loki.
I did not like Loki.
That's fair. It
Like,
had a lot of parts that weren't great.
that has flaws on multiple levels. One of them being it is the multiverse bullshit, and it is the launching point for the multiverse bullshit. And because the character writing wasn't there.
Um, but yeah, uh, Thor: Love and Thunder is ultimately a, a story about Thor trying to get some peace.
Mm.
And it is not like Thor is being replaced, or it's not like Thor ends up entangled in alternate dimensions or anything. It is Thor ends up tackling with some big concepts, and it's just he's trying to reach that place of inner peace after the events of the entire ending with Thanos, and his entire thing about being depressed and giving up on everything,
Mm.
and trying to develop from that point. Because he's very alone. So moving him in a different direction, which I do like the way they're taking him. They're not taking him back towards the "you're meant to be king" thing, but they're taking him in a direction of, well, what path are you going to take will actually leave you happy and fulfilled at this point. So I recommend the movie.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Then
I think the only thing I want from a Marvel anything at this point is for the endorsement to say it stands well on its own.
yeah, that's what Thor does.
Yeah. I don't care about Multiverse of Madness because it relies on other things. I don't care about Loki. Fuck. And other shows that bear no mentioning. And then Eternals just shits the bed.
Eternal shits the bed so hard.
Yeah, that was just a bad idea to make that movie.
I wonder who really wanted that to exist. Because given how much of a problem the fiction of that film is for previous events and current events, and how it introduces so many plot holes. Someone had to have fought hard for that. Because, the MCU has been pretty tightly controlled up to now.
I don't know who owns the rights for it, so I couldn't tell you.
And the Eternals, I think, is not one of the things that Disney sold off, so I assume it's still just Disney Marvel.
Well, it was directed and co-written by somebody who had never directed or co-written an action movie before. So,
Yeah.
I never would have guessed.
Yeah. Icarus just flying into the sun at the end of that movie is beautiful. You couldn't be more literal.
Yeah.
None of the other movies that are slated to come out really interest me, to be honest.
What have we got coming? I don't
Black
even know at this
Panther,
point.
Wakanda Forever,
Oh, fuck off.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania,
Nope.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Probably watch that one.
Yep.
The Marvels.
I suddenly feel vindicated on the thing that I said earlier.
Fantastic Four to be announced, I guess. No date on that.
Hey, we got the rights back for all the things that we wanted to make films for, even though they, have not made for good films in the past, and that's probably not entirely because Fox were making them.
And Blade, a Blade movie at some point.
I don't know whether I'm ready for Ryan Reynolds to call someone a thunder cunt again. That is my last memory from a Blade film. Blade Trinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then for shows, there's She-Hulk. Echo.
Isn't that out already?
I don't know if it's out. No, it's not out yet.
She-Hulk?
Yeah, they showed a trailer for it, but Echo, Secret Invasion, Ironheart, Armor Wars.
Oh, Christ, that's a lot of names.
Yeah, Ironheart is the...
Ironheart is going to be... Yeah, it's Tony's... I'm not going to call it replacement, because it's not by any stretch of the imagination. That thing can go so badly, so easily.
Yep. Secret Invasion is a Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury show involving the Skrull. And then Armor Wars is a War Machine show.
Oh, Christ. That's a tough sell.
That is
You know what people love about the Iron Man films? War Machine. That's a character that caught on with the youth.
Yeah. Then there's Agatha, House of Harkness, which is the villain from WandaVision. It's a show, I guess. And then a couple animated series, Spider-Man Freshman Year and Marvel Zombies.
Oh, are they gonna... Okay. Spider-Man Freshman Year sounds like they're going to be doing the origin story again.
Yeah.
We needed that.
Technically, they kind of did, because people to this day think that Uncle Ben straight up doesn't exist in the MCU. He does, guys. They just skipped it because we've seen it like 20 fucking times. We know the line. It's okay.
But yeah, it's definitely been on a down tilt. But Thor was fine. I enjoyed it. Just a Thor movie, and there's room for another Thor movie. Chris Hemsworth really likes playing Thor.
I mean,
It's a fun character.
Yeah.
He actually has his entire immediate family appear as extras and such in the movie.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I'd love to do that too.
His wife, his twin sons, and his daughter. So he's having fun.
Yeah.
You know what? You have fun, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. Dude seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
Please don't do anything terrible.
Please don't do anything terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so aside from Marvel movies talk, I did finish the game the Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative.
That's a title.
Yes. It's made
about
by the same people.
Someone who falls asleep listening to Smells Like Teen Spirit.
It's the sequel to the Somnium Files, which was you play as a detective with the ability to enter into people's dreams. So there's a bunch of serial killings happening, and you have to investigate, talk to people, and put clues together, solve puzzles, go into their dreams, which are wacky and have their own weird rules. And you have like a 6-minute timer while you're in those dreams. It only moves forward when you move your character, and you have to go through and do actions that consume time, and it's very fun. The writing is very tight. It's made by the same people who made 999, that series, the Nonary games. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
I feel like I should, but no.
I can say I've heard of it, in that I've heard the name, and I know absolutely nothing about it.
Okay. Well, the Zero Escape games. Does that title anything? No?
No, afraid not.
Yeah, it's it's Spike Chunsoft. You know, they made Danganronpa, Zero Escape, and it's just a very well written murder mystery. The Somnium Files, Nirvana Initiative, with some unexpected twists. The gameplay's fun. The characters are fun. You actually bounce between two different characters in this game. One that is 6 years in the past, and the other that is in present day, as you're trying to solve this like long-running murder case in which people were being sliced in half and being positioned like as if they had just suddenly appeared and had basically as if they teleported into a wall, basically.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yes.
So what you're telling me is it's a meme serial killer.
They definitely have interesting setup here. People are like, did somebody just teleport there because his body just appeared and it looks like they're like halfway through a wall, and trying to solve that, and it's kind of insane. It's not like there's any they did magic or anything. It's no there's a logical explanation for pretty much almost everything. the only thing without necessarily a logical explanation, I guess, is the secret ending. But that's a secret ending. It has multiple endings, this game, and but depending on your choices and some things that you do, and each ending is canon because it is a separate timeline. That may sound nonsensical, but you'd understand if you played it. Like, in order to get the true ending, you have to get all the other endings first.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because each ending, even if it like doesn't progress the main sort of timeline, it gives you more information about what is actually going on here that you wouldn't have gone otherwise. And while your character may not know it, I mean, you're the player, so you can act on different things. Like, for example, there will be a password to enter into this computer, but you have no way of knowing that password, unless, of course, you look it up online. But don't be a dick. You go through it, you find out what that password might be, then you can go back to that particular level and place, enter in that password, and then you unlock like a new sort of branching path in the story. So, very, very cool. Aside from that, Shetty, who's in the Discord server.
Yeah.
So Shetty flew over to California. So me, Shetty, and Dawn were hanging out the other day. We'll be hanging out again later today as well, and the next couple days. Went to. I took somebody from Missouri to a sushi place that has actually good sushi. Blew him away. Because sushi in the Midwest is nothing like sushi in California.
Yeah, not surprised.
Where everything is actually fresh and
I mean, kind of a little far away from the ocean. So
we're a little landlocked here in the middle of the U.S.
I mean, is like freshwater sushi a thing? I don't actually know.
You probably could, but there's a lot of I imagine there's laws to get around for that.
It was great. Went out to the mall. Bought some candy from a candy store, which I haven't done since I was a kid. But I'm an adult now. I can buy candy if I want.
Yeah, sweet shops just are a weird thing that I don't even know exists in this country. They probably do. Like, there's probably like sweet gift shops, I assume.
Yeah. And
there are candy stores, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they probably cursed Moonpig's existence.
We found this little store that had a bunch of like figures and plushies, including they had like actual like fake Grand Order figures and like DBZ figures and stuff like that.
Wow.
And Shetty was very kind and bought me this large plastic model kit for the Digimon Imperial Dramon Paladin mode, which is super cool.
That's a word.
Yeah.
These are a series of words.
It's 3 words. But I'm looking forward to putting that together. That is super, super kind. Yeah, just having fun with friends. It's for my week.
Yeah.
That is how things are in California. How you feel?
Well, that's great news.
Sisa, how's it going in not California, Minnesota? I think that's where you moved.
Yep.
Yeah,
Minnesota. Yep. Pretty
it
good.
is not a place that gets as boiling as everywhere else, right? That's like really north.
It's been a lot of rain, that's for sure. Rain and wind, but There have been a couple times where I got off work, and I got off work at 3:30, and my car says it's 106.
Ah.
So there's that.
Hmm.
But, it's not too bad here. It's better than Iowa, a little bit.
The humidity.
It is high, because, land of a thousand lakes, but not something I was expecting when I first moved up here. I expected the wind, but I hadn't considered the humidity. So I have several things in my room to lower the humidity of my living space.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have to turn it off because it's so quiet, but I have like an electronic one with a canister I take out and just dump several cups of water a day. So that's a thing. But as for what I've been doing, not much, honestly. Just been doing a lot of reading. Found a couple of good My Hero stories. I've watched The Boys, which is really good.
Oh, yes.
Right.
I also finished it.
I need to watch that. There is one thing that someone seemed to say in passing on the podcast that I only thought about like a couple days later. That like, hey, yeah, the writer Eric Kripke, and I'm like, I know that name. Why do I know? Then I realized that The Boys is run by the same guy who ran the first 5 seasons of Supernatural, and now I need to watch The Boys.
They cast one of the guys from Supernatural as a big character in the new season.
As Soldier Boy, yeah.
Yeah, because he's not on Supernatural anymore, so he's free.
Yeah. And they did a great job of separating him from Dean, I think his name was in Supernatural.
Yeah, Dean Winchester.
It was Sam and Dean. I forget which one was which, but yeah. They blatantly gave him facial hair. Like, it felt very intentional to separate him from Dean Winchester. And it worked.
The Boys is an example of something that's very different from the base comics, but in a good way.
Yeah, I know nothing about the comics, so...
Everything I've heard about the comics sounds like misery.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's supposed to be.
But
I can see that. Yeah.
It lacks the amount of heart that you need to keep actually going,
I mean, I straight up looked up spoilers, and I know how it ends, so it's not... It ain't great. But, so I hope the show is a little more upbeat. But that is the nature of the comics, though, so I'm not surprised. But, no details on it, but it's great. I'm really loving the latest season since it's wrapped.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of the season finale.
There were a couple missteps, I feel like. There were a couple things they led up to, and they just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, I felt it didn't really feel conclusive, but...
Was this the comics? Or...
The latest the finale of the latest season was kind of meh.
Well, they did already confirm the last season, which is next season. So, like...
Yeah, next season is last season, though.
Yeah, and they've confirmed its existence and its approval, so it's not... They didn't have to end things, so I don't really mind that too much.
It was more... I was hoping for something more significant to change.
That's fair. I can see that.
Here's the thing. Kripke is good at that.
Keeping it going.
Like, the first 5 seasons of Supernatural are the best seasons because they were planned from the start to end exactly that way. 5 seasons later. Same as Breaking Bad. The decision to continue it was after he left.
Oh, I see.
Because he told his story and he was done. So, yeah, I can understand how that whole thing works. It's like, hey, just give me the 5 seasons. I can do some good work. That's what he do. So, hope it pays off this time as well. I look forward to actually watching that, and hopefully it isn't too bleak. I feel like that's an unfair thing to ask for from The Boys, but...
I would say, as long as you're like binge watching episodes like 2 or 3 at a time, I think you'll be fine. Because there's always some little thread that's like, okay, we still have this option. This is still a possibility. There's still this we can do. It's never completely hopeless. And you know, barring like season finale.
There's always a little bit of, well, we're still here.
Yeah, all of us are still alive, mostly. So
A bit more traumatized, but we're still here.
Yeah, just a couple more emotional scars, but you know, alive. But yeah, so that was really fun. I did overall enjoy it. Let's see. I watched this really delightful show on Netflix at the behest of my housemates called "The Floor Is Lava." It's literally that.
Yes, the game show "The Floor Is Lava." I love it.
It's so good. There's like an obstacle course people need to jump through, and there's like goopy orange liquid on the ground, filling the rest of the room. It's a lot of fun. It's just stupid fun. It's great.
There's a bunch of orange liquid. You have to make it across these sometimes slippery platforms without touching the floor, which is actually just a pool of orange water. And if you fall into it, they shoot it as if that you have died, and everybody else is like, no.
Yeah, everyone plays it up. It's really fun.
They never show the people getting out of the liquid, which is
the
best. No,
they're dead forever. They're gone.
They're dead.
It's because, like, okay, I don't think it's at one point it was water, but they've done something to it to make it like gloopy and slippery and like thicker a little bit.
It's Tang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be Tang. Who knows?
Fucking they Evangelion'd it.
Yeah. And so they have like air jets or something underneath the water, so it actually bubbles, which is really cool. The downside of that is that it bubbles and splashes up onto the things that people need to jump off of. So pretty much everything is wet all the time with this slippery liquid.
Downside is a word.
Well, downside for the people who want to win money out of this.
It's fair.
It's great for the audience. Watching some, I don't know, 6'5" jacked dude talk up his own balance and stuff, and then jumps one platform, eats shit, and falls into lava is great.
Okay.
It's incredible. People shouldn't compliment their own abilities until round 2. Yeah, so I think that's it. Honestly, I actually haven't played any games this week. I don't think I've even turned on my PS4.
Klonoa came out the other day. The Klonoa remake.
Yeah, that's the game. It's a game. I don't actually know anything about Klonoa. I saw the thing, and it looked like... Is it one of those platformers that's got like sort of a 2.5D thing going on where, you know, you're still on like a 2D plane, but the camera changes and stuff? It's one of those.
Yeah. It's a classic platformer, and you know, it's good. It's a good platformer. Unfortunately, got stopped from having any more games for a while. So people are buying the game partially because they like Klonoa, but also because they want to support it so that it can get more games. It's that sort of situation. Or like, if this doesn't sell, this is death.
Can't stop the signal and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Firefly thing.
I'm sure that would mean a lot if I'd seen that show.
Yes, I agree. It would have meant a lot if I'd seen that show.
You should still watch that show. Go figure. Like, if you want to make this a thing, then I'll watch The Boys. You guys fucking watch Firefly, for fuck's sake.
How many episodes is Firefly? And where could it be?
15 episodes in a film.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it is very good. It's still very good. Because, you know, it's sci-fi, so it's kind of detached from any, like, timeliness.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll see.
Yeah.
So what else we got?
Okay, we'll get the FGO stuff out of the way at the end, so people who don't give a shit can tune out by then. Unless you want to hear your name in the Patreon roll, because that's got to be in this episode as well. That I just remembered.
Yes, I can give that the Patreon stuff.
Yeah. So aside from that, I've been trying to get back into writing again because my week off ended last week. I should probably put the podcast out. Oops, that happens. So yeah. Trying to get back into writing is a little bit of a struggle because I suck at it now, apparently. Because
Well, what happened?
I don't know. It's just hard to get motivation going again. But it is what it is. I will recover.
Have you tried touching grass?
Have you tried eating shit?
Both of these are valid strategies. Equally valid, I should say.
Yeah. So, in my inability to fucking motivate myself, I saw that a game was on sale on Steam, and I bought it.
What was it?
Did you play it?
So Cookie Clicker is an absurd time sink, and an incredible distraction that I will need to stop playing soon because it is that distracting.
Yeah, that's fair.
I will not say I didn't have fun with it. Just sort of, it's an idle game, so it does what idle games do, which is sap your time and make the dopamine center of your brain go ooh when the numbers go up.
Yeah, just make the numbers go up.
Yeah. It is mildly amusing to see the absurdity of cookies being made in an inordinately large amounts. I am currently looking at a number 4.682 duodecillion.
That's a lot of cookies.
Yeah, it is quite a few cookies. I don't quote me on this, but it is entirely possible it is enough cookies to actually cover the entire surface of the planet.
Sounds about right.
So yeah, that's a fun thing. There are a lot of amusing concepts in it, like grandmas are evil and will start an apocalypse if you give them too much power. They are also secretly demons.
Yeah.
There is a
sense.
cookie dragon that you can hatch and pet if you buy the appropriate upgrade. So you can have a pet cookie dragon named Crumble.
That dragon's really good. He gives some pretty solid bonuses.
Yeah. The most restricting currency in the game is sugar lumps, which drop 1 per day approximately.
If you're
And
lucky,
they are-
you get 2 per day.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
If you're lucky, they mutate and they grow an extra lump, and you get 2 per day.
Yeah. And there are upgrades you can buy that make it so that they grow every 23 hours instead of 24. And they are basically your biggest hindrance to progress. They're also probably the thing that's going to get me to stop playing for a while, just because there is going to be a point where I can't make progress until I have enough of these things to just fucking upgrade stuff permanently. So that's fine. Good, even. A reason to stop playing is a very good thing, because I am staring at the screen currently, watching the numbers climb.
Yeah, there's a point where you can't really play anymore. I'm gonna let this sit for the next 7 hours.
Yeah. I mean, that's an idle game, is what that is. And
Yeah. If you want something with some actual nuance, try Realm Grinder.
I played
It's
that,
actually-
and that was a terrible time.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm not actually good at the strategy elements of these games, of running the numbers to do things optimally.
oh,
And
fair.
Realm Grinder is much deeper in that respect.
Oh yeah, no, there's whole Wikipedias and Reddits and stuff devoted to it. Like it's a complex game.
Yep. And this is much simpler, which is good and bad because it means I can play it. That is both good and bad. I'm staring at this thing and I'm thinking I should close this, and I'm not. And I'm putting my hand on the mouse and I'm hitting options, and then I'm hitting save, and then I'm closing it.
There you go.
Yeah, there
I was
we
gonna
go.
say you could click the cookie a couple more times, but you know.
No, I don't. Here's the thing. I installed widgets that basically click for you because who gives a shit?
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah, that is the thing that ate up an inordinate amount of my time, and surprisingly few cookies. I feel like it's a missed opportunity that I didn't play while eating cookies.
I mean, the game ain't gone. You didn't uninstall it. You can still do that.
I could do that. It is cloud saved, so I could just completely uninstall it so it doesn't even tempt me anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
After you eat cookies and make cookies, naturally.
it's the uninstall button that I just pressed. Okay, that's cool. All right, that is probably going to help my ability to write a little bit. Not much, but a little bit.
Love that.
What the fuck else did I do? I played more of Fallen Order. I got to what I presume Zero would term a boss fight, because it was a fight against somebody that had a lightsaber. Zero, are you with us?
Sorry, what was that? We got called, so.
Oh, I thought you just spectacularly checked out because of the cookie clicker talk.
I mean,
A little bit of that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was it?
I mean, I'm proud of myself for saying that in one go without stumbling. But yeah, Fallen Order, I think I fought a boss fight because it was against someone with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Technically, anything with a life bar is a boss fight, but you know, it's not really the same unless they have a lightsaber.
I guess. Yeah, okay.
Because there's some pretty spectacular fights. It's a fun game.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
There is one thing I want above all else in this game,
Mm-hmm.
and it is the ability to teleport between save points. Is that a thing I finally get to do at some point?
Oh gosh. I don't think so.
That is unfortunate, because I look at the map of Zepho and realize, hey, I've got to get back to some of these places because there are paths that have been unlocked because of upgrades. I don't know how to get to any of them. Reading that map is a nightmare.
Yeah. I just to be sure, I looked it up, and the recommendation is, well, once you have your skill tree maxed out, you can just kill yourself to get back to your ship. after you run and do things, and like that's not what I'm looking for.
That doesn't sound like a practical solution, but okay. Well, I suppose it does sound like a practical solution, but not an immersive and plausible solution. Let's call it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah.
So that means that one tomb that I went to, that I tried to get all the things in and only realized I missed something after I'd already left, I will have to find my way back to that tomb.
Yup.
That's cool.
There are many reasons I stopped playing that game.
Is there anything that tells you in general where chests might be? Because I missed one.
I think I just looked up some of the stuff that I missed.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
But, I mean, I typically was able to find stuff pretty easily. But, the game doesn't exactly have great tools for that.
Yeah, not so much. Hopefully that's something they improve in the second one.
Yeah. Like, the base gameplay is still very enjoyable, but you can definitely see that there is room for improvement.
Have they confirmed the second game?
Yes, they have.
Jedi Survivor is what it's called.
Yeah.
Fitting.
Which I'm very interested in that game.
If the enemies would stop blocking by default, I would probably enjoy the game.
I mean, that's just reasonable gameplay of like, hey, they're blocking, break their block bar, the same as they have to break yours.
Yeah, I just didn't enjoy it. It just felt like I was slogging through enemies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just effectively a life bar of you have to get through it, you can do damage, and then they recover, because that's how the gameplay works on both sides. So, it's a conceit for the sake of fairness, I think. And that's kind of the best thing about Dark Souls, so I like that they at least gave a nod towards that sort of thing. Like, I had some very unpleasant things to say about Dark Souls 2, if you remember when we were playing that slicer, of, like, the Shrine of Amana, where enemies would just have infinite spells.
Oh, that's terrible. That was bad.
Yeah.
Everyone hates Shrine of Amana.
I don't want to go back to look at those videos because I feel like I was very angry. I did not have fun during that section.
Yeah, that's fair. Again, nobody has fun in that area. That's universally hated even amongst people who like the game. But, yeah, I actually can't remember. Do you block by default in Fallen Order?
No. You then hold the button.
Not really fair then, now, is it?
Well, yeah, it is, because you have to block. You have to make the decisions for what your character is doing. The opponent is generally making the broadly right ones, and it's up to you to exploit that and beat them.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way the gameplay works.
I feel like what you're experiencing, Slicer. Did you ever play Force Unleashed?
No.
Okay.
Wanted to, but could never find a copy.
Because Force Unleashed is a very different style of like lightsaber combat, where rather than being Dark Souls, it is you are sending enemies flying with the force choking them and throwing them off cliffs, and as you walk and blasters get shot at you, your character will just automatically deflect a lot of them. Which I think sounds more like maybe a little bit more your speed.
No, you have that backwards, actually. I'm perfectly content with the ability to block manually and do my own actions as a character. I just hate the enemies constantly block. That's it. If I swing at an opponent and their guard is open, I want to hit them.
Well, here's the thing.
Bring up their guard, that's fine.
They're not blocking. They're they have defense, certainly, and you can hit them and gradually wear away at that defense, or you can hit the Y button and smash through it instantly at the cost of some meter.
I mean,
Yeah, there is that.
yeah, but still, like, the thing is, I just don't like that the difference between a blocking enemy and a not blocking enemy is nothing, because they're never not blocking. It feels like a minor thing, but like it makes all the difference in the world for the gameplay experience for me. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like a part of the minority for that, but that's fine. It's just not a game for me. For instance, I didn't enjoy the Final Fantasy VII remake. Could not get it to play the way I wanted to enjoy it. So,
That's unfortunate. I enjoyed that game a lot.
Yeah.
yeah, the way the game wants you to play is not a gameplay style that I enjoy, so I just didn't enjoy it.
It feels kind of like a mix between... This is going to sound really fucking weird. It feels like a mix between Dark Souls and Devil May Cry in gameplay mindset. It's designed so that it plays pretty much like Dark Souls, broadly speaking. You have your light attack, you have your heavy attack. There are other tools available to you that are basically your spells or pyromancies or whatever you want to call them. But the way that you play it is you're aiming to be a Jedi. You are aiming to make the fight scenes look like you are a Jedi. Your character is a Jedi who knows what he's doing and knows how to fight, so when the stormtroopers like freak the fuck out just on the second of seeing you with a lightsaber, it feels earned because your gameplay, the way you're fighting, is appropriate to that level of fear.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I think that was actually what threw me off initially the most, was I was playing it like a Dark Souls game. And it's a little more complicated than that. In different ways.
Yeah. So yeah, that is probably a thing I'll go back to. Sorry, what were you saying, Zero?
Once they add the ability for you to alter how you're using your lightsaber, that's when the combat really clicked for me.
The double-sided?
Yeah, when you can go the double-sided and stuff. Being able to switch between like lightsaber modes like that, I really felt like I could actually flow into things in combo, and it felt really good.
Oh yeah, like if you're just like 1v1ing a guy and there are dudes shooting at you, and in the middle of the fight you switch to double-ended and block, so it blocks every blaster bolt, and then you go back to one to go back to the fight. It feels amazing when you nail it.
It feels pretty good, yeah. That's why I do enjoy the ability to manually parry and block on the player's part, because you can pull things off like that. It feels awesome.
I need to go back to that. But I have chapters due, 2 of them. So that will wait for a little bit. I have outlines written at least.
Yeah, that's good. Do you do like really... How do you do outlines, by the way?
I write line by line what I want to happen in the chapter. And then if I come up with good dialogue for it, I will just write it out as part of the outline. And then just keep going and going and going until I do the entire chapter of what I want to happen in it. And then I make it look good.
I do similar with like bullet point vague things of what I want.
Yeah.
So like a paragraph will turn into a bullet point with maybe 2 sentences or something.
Yeah. Various levels of vagueness, but yeah.
Hey, we worked on a writing tip on this originally writing podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Woohoo! So, anything else? You played Fallen Order, enjoyed it?
That's pretty much it. I need to finish that game. That is the thing I should have been playing when I was playing Cookie Clicker. Let's be real. FGO Castoria came out. The game is broken. We win forever. Yay us, Zero.
Yay!
Yay.
We can now brain dead it more than ever before.
More than we already could because of Scotty.
Yep. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Because the character as well has already endeared me as well. Just personality wise.
Yeah.
So excited to see more of the story of FGO when they actually go into like how we know her, I guess. How we meet her initially.
Yeah.
Because like the stage 3 of Castoria is she remembers the plot that we haven't done yet.
Yeah. Like, okay, I feel like it's not really spoilers to say the things that Castoria herself says as a servant. And it feels like the first 2 ascensions are her being like, hey, I totally haven't done the things that the character is famous for. Don't really want to. And then the third one is having done them. Yeah. Is what it seems like. Having not done the no spoilers. So
I don't know any spoilers about the story, so I just know that the description in like the Bond description when you go check her profile mentions that think of the third stage as basically her a year later after the events of what happened.
Yeah.
And having matured a bit more. I'm like, okay. Understandable.
And nobody likes the third one. Everyone likes the version where it looks like she's going to magic school.
The third version's design is and also the animations are longer on the skills, which won't be a problem once we have skill skip, but right now it is a problem when they are twice as long.
Do we have an ETA on skill skip?
Nope, because FGONA decides to just throw in things early whenever they want.
Yeah, that's fine. But like, when was it in Japan?
I would have to look that up.
Yeah, we'd have to look it up. It'd take a while. But yeah, looking forward to that. That's going to be nice. Make it take even less time than it already does. That would be cool.
That's November of next year. Was the yeah.
So given how our server works, that's probably next anniversary.
Or it could even, I don't know, it could be next download campaign.
Could be. I mean, like, we got servant coins like 3 months early, so
we got servant coins like a year early.
Did we? I thought it was supposed to be this anniversary. It doesn't. Let's not get into the weeds on this even more than we have.
No, it was supposed to be 6th anniversary, not 5th.
Oh, cool. Well, whatever. So, yeah, that's. I'm glad that it seems like everyone got the thing. I think Nate got it eventually.
I have one friend who did not, and he is very salty.
Understandable.
Because everybody else did.
I know someone who didn't get her and ended up spending money to get her and eventually did get her, like, towards the end of spending money. And then did some rank ups and stuff and got a bit more quartz. Thought, I'll do another 10 roll. Got her twice in one 10 roll.
Yeah, it's that yo-yo.
Yeah, They were less than pleased with how that whole thing went out. But yeah. So, gotcha. Gotcha is a homophone of another word.
There's a summer event in a couple days where you can get
Yeah.
2 characters I don't care about.
NTR summer camp. Yay.
We're theming this summer event after horror movies that happen at summer camp.
Is that what it's actually supposed to be? Because
Yes.
all I can think
Yeah.
of is, hey, look at all of these couples that are supposed to be part of this thing, but only the female servants are on the banner.
The theme is horror movies at summer camp. That's why the 2 female characters that are on banner are Kiara and Abigail.
Hmm.
2 of the most terrifying females.
Yeah. But also Beat Saber Tomoe. So
Yeah.
that
She's having fun.
yeah. Her alone just makes the entire event for me. Just like
Yes.
she's fucking great. She's just playing video games. Fuck it. I don't give a shit what story you're doing. I just want to play VR games.
I did get a VR headset, Oculus Quest 2. I still need to get Beat Saber on it. I want to play Beat Saber.
Yeah, me too. It would help with the whole being incredibly out of shape thing.
VR is pretty great for that, honestly. It's a workout.
Yeah. So.
That's pretty much it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hey. So. Patreon. Thank you.
Sorry. You already
Thank
doing
you.
the Patreon is kind of a bit of a faux pas.
What? Yeah, it is. Thank you to Ryu for that $10 and then that $4.20 for $4.20 donation. Thank you very much. Thank you to Sailor of House Thunderbird for that $5 donation. Thank you to Vale for that $10 donation. Thank you to Boy by Fresh for that $20 donation. We've been playing D&D with Boy by Fresh. It's been pretty fun. $1 donation from Greek Guy. Thank you very much. Thank you to Bomber BCM for that $1 donation. Thank you to the Crossbrain for your $10 donation, and thank you to Troper37 for your $10 donation. You guys are awesome. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Just silence afterwards.
Sorry, I saw a meme. It distracted me.
I wasn't sure if you were looking for any more names, so I just wanted to be sure. I didn't want to interrupt.
Nope.
So,
That's it.
yeah, thanks guys. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
all that.
Yeah, you're cool.
I cannot tell you how many times I've run out of money in my bank account, essentially, and been like, hey, I need this $20 to get to work. So it helps a lot, actually.
Ouch, my dude.
Yeah, well, Midwest pay ain't great.
Yeah, and gas in California costs $6 a gallon.
Yeah, we're almost at 5 here in Minnesota, so fun stuff.
Oh, I wish we were almost at 5.
Yeah, I miss $3.50. What a weird experience.
Well, thank you all for listening to the Fandom Flux podcast. Thank you for donating on Patreon, and thank you for enduring discussion about Fate Grand Order, even though most people who listen to this play it, as far as I'm aware.
Also, Casey bitching about Marvel again.
Yeah, that Marvel discussion, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when I finally have enough gil to buy a house in Final Fantasy XIV, and I found a nice plot to attempt to buy a house. This is the last thing I want to talk about before we end the podcast. So, Final Fantasy XIV has a housing crisis.
It's pretty bad, honestly.
big part of the housing crisis is you have a large amount of homes that are owned by like one person. People owning multiple homes, and the homes being kind of physical spaces rather than instanced. So very limited homes. And they recently introduced a system where what it is when the housing goes up for sale, you can put a bid on it, and then a lottery draw will determine whether or not you get the house. If the lottery draw is unsuccessful, you can get a full refund of your money that you put down. So I am basically playing the house gotcha right now, and it takes about 5 days for the results to come in.
Yeah.
So basically, there are land sharks in Final Fantasy XIV?
Yes, and there is also house laundering, I guess. Where people would buy an FC house, add somebody as a member of that free, or FC is short for free company, like a guild, basically.
Guild, yeah.
They buy the guild house. They somebody pays them real money. Then they add them to the free company, and then they leave the free company, and now that person has that house. Which I think is a thing they recently stopped, but they're even though they have made it so that you can't really own more than one house anymore, people got in early with owning multiple houses,
And now they're just kind of sitting on them.
and those houses have not been taken away from them. They still have all those houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would
they
be unfair.
paid for them. Just taking them away would be a dick move, but also just leaving them as owned by the same person would be a dick move, and they're kind of stuck.
There's one person who has an entire housing ward all to themselves on one server,
I'm not shocked.
which is 30 houses.
And all they have to do to maintain that monopoly is just log in, once every 3 weeks? Or something? What's the cooldown time for houses disintegrating?
That cooldown time is currently suspended, so there is no cooldown time right now.
So never. They own those houses forever until they
re-implement it.
Great.
You know what would be a good way to handle this? Is, hey, we don't want you to own 30 houses because that's a dick move. So here's what we're going to do. You have the choice of picking one. One house for you to continue to own. We will refund you the price for every single other one. All of the money back.
Here's a title. You earned the landlord title or some shit. I don't know.
It's the person's justification for owning that many houses is they want to make their own city themed after this group of people in the game. Which they have.
That's nice. Don't fuck over everyone's game for that.
Yeah. They haven't even done that, by the way. They just said they were going to do it. And other people are like, there was one post I saw earlier, which was somebody being like, people are complaining and crying to me about because I mentioned I own 5 houses, and I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't. When housing is limited and a constant problem in the game to the point that you can't just buy a house, it has to be up for lottery now, and that's the fairest system they can do. It's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, you're literally fucking over everyone else for mostly no reason. Like, it is just hyper indulgence.
Yes, people get... You know how fan fiction, you have your OCs and everything, and your self-inserts?
Yeah.
In an MMO where you can have multiple characters and you can design retainers and people that live at your house, and people get heavy into RP, and like that sort of like self-indulgence can reach astronomical levels in the game. To the point where it's not even caring about other people.
That
yeah.
That is a problem that if you're doing that, then you have become a problem for the game itself, because you are part of locking people out of a feature that is in the game that they straight up can't access.
Yeah,
because you wanted to have 10 houses instead of letting 9 other people have a house and getting to experience that part of the game.
And like, say for example, you're in a guild, right? You need to have a house, like a property, to have your guild house, right?
Yeah.
To have your free company house.
Yeah,
if you don't have that, that actually closes you off to other features and gameplay things that you could otherwise do. If you have and obviously if you want to actually redecorate, like get a house, decorate it, add in features that add in convenience, because you can just teleport to your house, I believe, for free. Because usually a small cost associated with teleporting across the map. You get a free teleportation to an area. You get the ability to like. You get different NPCs that you can have be on your property that can help with things and make things a bit easier. It's just very convenient to have a house.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. This feels like one of those situations where a dev should probably just put their foot down. Like, no, this is not okay. We're not letting you continue to do this. Like, it's going to piss off 0.0001% of the player base, but it's going to be really appreciated by literally all the rest of it.
Yeah. They are adding something new, which is like this instanced area.
Yeah, that would be the other way to do it, is to just instance it so anyone can have a house.
It's like an instanced island that everybody has access to, where there's like farming stuff on it. And I don't know if you have access to house features in the instanced area, but everybody's assuming so. Everybody's assuming that's the big fix.
Yeah.
The problem with the instance solution is that's a shit ton of server space being taken up by just people's houses.
Which 14 has not had great history of, the server thing.
Well, most things don't work on launch, so give it a week, see how it works. Kind of the nice thing about the house system, I guess, is that you can have neighbors and you can have all your friends show up at your place, and it's in a physical location in the world. But yeah,
don't be a douche. That's basically what it comes down to. And if you're going to be a douche, expect people to kind of hate you and treat you like shit for it, because you're being a douche.
And like there are like, if you have like your guild house, you can get your own personal room in there. There's also apartments to add on more to try to fix the housing stuff. But again, it's having an apartment, it's not having an actual house. So
it's like, wow, you know how everyone hates the fucking real estate prospectors that drive prices up into the millions range for just a regular house in the real world? You're them, jackass.
The good news is the price of housing is set. Each houses, depending on their positions, will have different sort of ranks, I guess, and that rank is associated with a specific price. The person who owns the house cannot alter that in any way.
Well, that's good.
So, for example, there's this prime piece of real estate here, costs 3.7 million gil. It's in the perfect spot. I want it. Put down my money. There's a place right next to it, which is a bit more out of the way, that costs 3.5 million gil. You know? But given it's a lotto, you're going to want to take your chance with, like, getting the best one you can at the very least.
Yep.
Plus, it's the area that's actually the most hell to get into in 14 is called it's Shirogane, which is the Japan-themed place, which has hot springs. You're not getting in there. Everybody's a weeb. They want to live there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I assume those houses are bought forever.
Gigantic war to get a house in that particular place. And as you can imagine, owning multiple houses in that place is super unacceptable. But whatever. The whole reason why housing has come up is because with the latest expansion, they added an entirely new housing district, which ended up freeing up some houses, and then they did a bad thing where, to kind of explain the system so it makes sense. So I'm getting into this, but this is very interesting.
It is interesting. Yeah.
There
As someone
are
who doesn't play 14, so go ahead.
There are 20 wards. These wards are places that have 30 houses each, and they also have a subdivision that has an additional 30 houses. So each one has 60 houses, basically. They made there was a problem with people not being able to afford their guild houses, or being able to get guild houses to begin with, because it was just a free-for-all, right? So they added in a restriction where I believe it was wards 1 through, I want to say 16 or 17 were only for the free company houses, which meant that there were only 3 wards for personal houses.
That's pretty rough already.
But if you owned a personal house previously, you still got to keep it there. But now you can buy a personal house in most of the wards. And
considering their policy of grandfathering things in, I'm surprised they make these changes so hastily.
Then, just today, they were recording, they undid that and limited it to 1 through 10. I think it's 1 through 10 is free company, 11 through 20 is personal housing. So they did like a split, more even split. So then all of a sudden a bunch of houses became available. So now people are fighting for houses. Because once they did that, they found out that there were just empty houses that no free companies were taking, because they were really small, and they would be perfect for just a normal person house. And there's a lot less free companies needing houses than there are people who need personal houses. So they changed it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hence why I'm now trying to get a house and deal with this ridiculous housing market. It helped that I got 1 million gil for, which is the price of my sins, in saying that I would not watch Symphogear. And then my friends who are really into Symphogear were pushing me towards it. Said, "Give me 1 million gil," and they did. So now I'm buying a house with it.
Wow. Okay. I mean, whatever works.
Yeah. And then a friend, as a joke, said, "Oh yeah, well, I'll watch it for 5 million gil." Anyway, that person is now 5 million gil richer. It makes me think I should have upped my cost.
Yeah, you sold yourself cheap.
But, for people who have been playing that game extensively and have all their crafters leveled, making a lot of money is much easier for them.
I like the crafting system.
Items. Yeah. Extensive crafting system in that game that I have not even touched. Anyway, that's enough of my housing rant in FF14. The very end for anybody who's curious.
I learned
we meant to
a
put
little
the
bit.
FGO shit at the end, but instead it was a different incredible time sink.
Dude, the economy of an MMO is nuts.
It's crazy. And easily ruined.
We've all seen the stories of EVE Online, so
When they first implemented the lottery system, everybody auto failed to get a house because the lottery system rolled a 0.
Yeah, that was great. The house was just blank. Everyone got refunded, and people were like, "What the fuck? Who owns this place?" The answer was nobody.
Oh yeah, people got mad. It is a ever going just clusterfuck.
So yeah,
Thanks for listening to the Fandom Flux
the
podcast.
podcast and stuff. Patreon link in the description, Discord link in the description. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye bye.
See you guys.